All right, episode 73. Good to see you guys. Welcome back to Here Labs Live. Your host, RT, with the Mountain Man, the Wild Mountain Man, Nick Cote, dialing in from out of town. Good to see you, Nick. How are you? Or good to hear you, rather. We are
doing well.
We are in the midst of a bull market, and that's so fucking exciting. I gotta say, guys, we go through the ebbs and flows. My favorite time to be live, favorite time to be online, looking at charts, hanging out, is when number go up. And it will not always go up. It will go down, and then it will go up, and then it will go down, and then down, and down, and then up, and up, and up. And up. So my favorite time to be live, and I don't take this for granted, is when we're just sitting pretty in a bull. USD, Dixie is breaking below a key support that I had right on my chart, which is really good news for the USD pairs in general. People not really looking to hold on to their US dollars when it's losing value versus basically everything else. So very exciting. Hey, good to see you back in here. We got Dave Millett moving up in life, now sitting in the Costco parking, chewing on a big jumbo 50 hot dog. I know those ones. They're delicious. So give shout out to Dave. We got So Heel hanging out in here. His bags are popping. Wow. Edge Hunter, August. Hello. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about everything crypto. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at Ethereum. My favorite chart this month is ETH BTC. That is really the barometer for the altcoins. And then we're just going to dive into some altcoins. The top 100 is crushing. Literally. I bought up some bags this week, which, as you guys know, like I don't just ape in often, but I do a lot of sitting and waiting, a lot of small leverage trading here and there, ups and downs. But I'm pretty confidently loading up this week. I think if there's a time to do it, why not now? It's never a guarantee. I'm always so cautious, right? I told myself after doing all my books after 2020, I wrapped up and I said, look, if I could just hold on to what I did in 2020 and just not lose that, I'd be pretty happy through 2021. And that's my like bar. That's my low. That's like, okay, just maintain as a minimum, manage risk. That's my mindset. And despite that, with what we're seeing in the market right now, I'm just ready to trade it. Bitcoin is at a precarious level always. When you see these parabolic advances, it's always tricky to justify taking on additional risk at those levels, even if it is going to 50, even if it is going to 100, which someday I believe it is. Same with Ethereum, right? Sitting up at 1100, really, really hard to imagine it's not going to make an all-time high this year, probably this month, like who knows, but it's very hard to picture a world where that does not happen. And then I got to ask myself when I look at the charts, where's my USDC, USDT, whatever stable coin that I'm moving out of? Because that's where I tend to park. Where's the best return I can get in the market? I love Bitcoin and it's sitting at 35K. What's my 2X look like? 70? Am I going to see that this year? Maybe. Can I get a quicker 2X? Can I get a better return on a handful of altcoins that are still pretty high quality, like some more, blue chip, top 100, mid cap? I think almost certainly. And so that is my focus. That is my general focus. And as much as I love, when the Bitcoin starts making all-time highs and you just hear about like, imagine sitting in altcoins, like I get it. It may not be the fastest. They may not be the fastest horse all the time, but with what I'm seeing in the market, I've never been more excited to gain exposure to altcoins, and we're going to get into why. So there's my intro rant. We got a nice handful of you over there on YouTube. Shout out to TradingView. Hope you guys are well. Hello, TradingView. Quick comment on TradingView. We are having some kind of error where the replays on our TradingView account, basically like the stream works great. It shows it's an hour, 2 hours, whatever long, and then you go to watch it and it's like 5 seconds long. So they're not archiving properly over on TradingView. So if you guys are watching from TradingView and you see the stream, just say from Monday with Jeff or some other guests or any stuff like that you want to see, and you're like, oh man, why is this video not loading? Just fly over to our YouTube, Hero Labs, HXRO Labs, and come and watch over there, because that's where it's archiving all of our saved stuff. And until we fix the issue on TradingView, unfortunately, it doesn't look like our profile will let you do that. So Hola from Brazil. Nice to see you, Ben Wilkie. And Sam Paulo. Good to have you guys. So let's get over to the charts. Nick, what are you seeing in the market these days? Nicholas.
Green candles. Basically green candles everywhere right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Green candles all over the place. And more importantly, green vol-
I think generally what we're going to see is just continuing up.
Uh-oh. I think we might actually have a delay between Nick and I. That is going to... Okay. We might have some connection issues over here for the audio feed for Nick today, but we will work with that. Let us know in the audience, guys, how that's coming through, because I hear it differently through Rendezvous. Yeah, so here's the Dixie chart, and I'm starting here because, this is the mover, right? Bitcoin at the lows, Dixie at the highs. Bitcoin trending up, having a huge year, Dixie trending down, having a terrible year, right? So we got to keep an eye on this as sort of the market mover. And, we had a bullish divergence. We were sitting at this key level, and I thought, oh, shit, like if there's your narrative for a pullback, maybe to 20K, whatever, if that holds. But right now we're just breaking through it. And it's the same kind of thing, just a slow bleed through. I think the Dems look like they're going to win the Senate. No comment on where I stand in that, but it does stand to reason that that's going to be a spendier government, from what I hear. I'm not but if that's the case, more stimulus, more spendy, more printing, possibly weaker dollar. So it sounds like that's the narrative, or at least that's how the market is receiving the latest election stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Hoping for a smooth transition, however it ends up being. Now, this is the favorite chart of mine. ETH BTC. Big explosion off here. I mean, if that doesn't say, like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, are we going up? And then there's just like, they don't make it easy, right? A huge number of individuals swapped their Bitcoin for Ethereum, basically banking on the greater returns coming from Ethereum, I would assume. Getting that engine started, like nice big buy volume coming in right off the retest of these lows. I mean, you can see why they do this, right, guys? The big plow down into the sweet spot, bounce up. If I want a long, if I want to be a buyer, I'm going to wait for that higher low. And to do that, I can just draw this fib, pull up this reload zone. And if you zoom in, there was actually a picture perfect signal on Saturday night that gave me a little more confidence in this. And I'll be honest, I didn't get my long. And I'm a little salty. I woke up the next day. I actually had it measured out. I had Casper's risk calculator up on my screen. I was looking into it. I was like, okay, because of this, on this low here, look at the RSI. It like didn't drop at all. Huge divergence on the hourly. And I was looking at it right here at around 23.5. And I had it up and I just was like, it was like 1 a.m. I'm like, oh, this and that, measured my risks, moved things into my margin account, everything. And then like got distracted, went to bed. And I woke up and it was like up here. I was like, oh, fuck me. Are you kidding me? So might have missed the generational bottom there, but it is what it is. I think, there's going to be really nice returns elsewhere in the market. Add it to my list of things that I, got distracted from. It's all good. But let's take a look at the zoomed out picture of Ethereum. I mean, that, there's room in here to be like, we had a low here, we had a lower high here, things like that. Right here, where you just get like, well, I guess that's a higher low. But, I've heard people, I posted this earlier, they're like, no, dude, this is just a lower high, and then we're going to keep going down. It's like, maybe. But this is a really weird place to call tops on Ethereum. So I'm all for, taking the high time frame view in, digesting it, not getting too caught up in the low time frame. So we have a big weekly level here for Ethereum, one that most people are watching, where there was a lot of talk of like, hey, I'll long Ethereum versus Bitcoin if we can close a weekly above this. And I think there's a chance, we could get some inverse head and shoulders, might even give a nice late entry to somebody if we come back down here and test this level. And then that way, get a bit of a stronger bounce up. But the first things first, 4 days, 5 hours left until this candle closes. And we really want it to close above 31.67. That's the candle body high that was printed back here in November. If we can do that, that's it for me. That's the confirmed reversal. Obviously, closing above here is the next major one. I mean, that's like cats out of the bag. Holy shit, we're going. But one step at a time. And this is the next kind of key pivot high. So big level to watch for Ethereum. If you are paying attention on Sunday evening, keep an eye on 3167. And if we do close above there, that does not mean that we have to go straight from there. It just means that generally that's the confirmed direction of the market. So even if we get that close, in fact, especially if we get that close, my goal will be looking at longs back around here. And how do I know exactly where? Well, I will take out my trusty fib tool. Probably, I mean, you could use the pump chaser zone here. I tend to like to live in the reload zone where you just get that nasty wick down and you get the best fill. You could miss it. I mean, this was a pump. There's no doubt about it. This was a very violent move up on the daily, hourly, all that. So maybe it's pump chaser zone time, but we'll see. So how am I going to play that exactly? I don't know. I got to get the close first. And then, maybe it's a week or 2 weeks where Bitcoin's pushing to new highs or some crazy shit, and this thing just comes back. Don't lose sight of it at that point, because that's the God tier entry that'll be presenting itself. That's how I look at it anyways. So we'll see. Huge inverse head and shoulders on the weekly. Yeah, love that. And I can see it, right? Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then that is where this kind of level comes in, and it's like, holy shit. And that's, again, like, that's just why I like to look at these high time frames. I mean, look at this. I mean, imagine, I just say this, like, imagine calling tops here. I mean, on the local move, sure. I mean, we get to pull out the 4 hour, 12 hour. But like, look, we broke through this key resistance and we're just kind of consolidating above it for now. No real big rejection, no like exhaustion, rising volume. We're overbought on the RSI, but like, yeah, really, really strong look from Ethereum. And versus USD, sorry, Nick, if you're there, let me know. You can chime in anytime. I'm not sure about your connection. Just FYI, I'm right here with you, bro. If you want to step in, let me know. But the USD pair is just grinding higher. Really nice, strong breakout from this consolidation, just kind of hanging out, and it's just riding this EMA upwards slowly but surely. And what you really want to do, again, with this kind of chart, and we can get rid of that line and just like, let's give this a proper view. I mean, what a sexy looking chart. Again, is this where I'm like, hey guys, this is a great time to rush in and buy? Never. We were getting excited about ETH here, the start of the summer right here, saying, oh, this huge consolidation, this looks ready to blow. There's some dips here to buy if you're eager to buy. There will be a dip somewhere up here someday, somewhere. That's going to be a cool time to buy. This exact level on this exact candle comes with a lot of risk. Where do you measure your risk to? How the hell do you have a pivot to risk against, right? So it is tricky if you're just looking at this. But again, you don't have to worry about that, because there are so many USD pairs that I personally think have greater return potential than this. Treat this as a proxy. If you're sitting on the sidelines like, fuck, I don't have any ETH, I want some. It's probably going to go fucking crazy. But you can't buy this candle if your plan is to manage risk throughout your career as a trader and investor. That's just ridiculous. That's when the public buys. That's when randoms who just found out about crypto don't even look at charts, just look at a number on a screen and say, I buy. But we know better than that. So let's look today at some pairs. I've got a few that I just like love the look of. Algo's shooting up today. Nice volume coming in. Probably heading to this fib extension as a first stop. Really nice big consolidation. We talked about this on Monday. And when you see these big consolidations, you can kind of extrapolate like a larger move coming out of it versus like a quick dip and go. You get less energy, but this is going to have a ton of energy behind it. So really excited about this one. Yeah, so you guys over on TradingView, if you want to watch and you're having trouble, TradingView, it is in beta for streaming. So if you guys don't mind and you really want to see, and I love having you guys, fly over to either herolabs.io, which we just posted in this chat, and our YouTube is findable through that, or you can hit us up on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. You can also hit us up on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, it is working on our end, so just try refreshing the stream, or on Twitter, Real Hero Labs, at Real Hero Labs. You can find us there on our Periscope, just kind of like on our Twitter stream. We're live. So hopefully that stream comes through. If not, hit us up on one of the other platforms for today. That'd be great. So Algo, altcoins. I mean, okay, first of all, we got a big disclaimer on Algo. It is at a nasty resistance right now, which doesn't mean it has to go down, but it's like, again, it's a place where it is tricky to buy this moment. You got the pivot low over here. You got it resistance here, breakout, acted as support, bounced, and then broke down. So this is a big level for Algo. And as of right now, because of the direction we're approaching it from, it is a resistance. It is a place where you can expect price to have trouble, where sellers, from down in this consolidation, the first wave of sellers, they're probably stepping in here saying, I'm going to sell. Or people who were trapped in their longs from way back here in August, they're now back to break even. They're looking to get out. That's the psychology of being underwater. So keep an eye on it. I can't buy here. I did buy some versus Bitcoin actually this morning. So I'm a liar because then I look over at this chart. I'm like, oh shit, it's not a great place to buy versus USD. But on the Bitcoin pair, look at that. I mean, I had a little Bitcoin. I said, hey, I'm going to trade that for Algo. I think right now this can outperform, but it's also at resistance. So be aware. These little shitty resistances. I think it's going to break through that though. I mean, look at the volume. When you get big buy volume pushing up into a resistance, it might take a few days. It might pull back a little, but generally speaking, that's such a good sign. No buyers were interested through all of this. They were just letting it fall. Now they're interested and they're buying quite a bit. So that's the kind of shit I look for. Probably for me, I'm like risking up to here for the first trade, getting my 3-to-1, just over 3-to-1. So that's sort of my first trade on Algo. I mean, of course, there could be an alt season. It could go further, but you have to come with a plan. And my plan is 3-to-1. That's 82%. I don't mind that. So one idea I'm chewing on right now. Get into some requests later. Again, not sure. Don, let me know if we lost Nick. But I want to hear his thoughts on all this too. Always curious to know what he's trading, how he's trading it. Huge level here for Ren. Actually, just nice to see. It's rallying right now. I picked some up on this pullback. So, again, you have this consolidation. And as you guys know, if you've been watching the stream, Ren is one that I completely missed through here. I actually had like a fat bag back in way back when. Like, you actually have to go to the Huobi chart to see my bag. Oh, not even. Where was it? Ren. I think it was versus Bitcoin. That's why. Yeah, like 1100, yeah. So I had a big bag here, sold it at the break of these lows back in 2018, and then thought I was such a genius. Never bought it back. Never got it back. I actually tried to at 600 sats here, and I missed on a dip. It didn't quite fill me. I was kind of like, oh, I'll get it later. And then it just absolutely mooned this summer. And, so I'm excited to be in. I think at this view, like that's not a bad place on a chart in general to be buying. As a rule, that's kind of, like I was looking at Ethereum saying, this isn't where we buy. But then you look at this chart, it's like, this is where I buy. So I'm excited about Ren. I think it's huge. I think the project, I was actually surprised to see it's like only $250,000 market cap or whatever it is now. Let's go see. I think it's easily, I mean, Theta is like what now? A couple billion? I can't speak to Theta, but I just look at this. Wait. I look at this and I'm like, oh, Ren's got to be $1 billion cap this year if we're going in that way. And it's like, what, 332. So it was about $250,000 when I bought. So it's up a bit. That's nice. Always love that. But yeah, I saw Theta. Theta's been doing some crazy shit. 2.2 million market cap. Oh my God. Don't know what they're on about. Obviously building something people see demand in the token for, because this is an intense rally. In fact, a lot of this rally even happened when alts were still shit, like a month ago. So keeping an eye on Ren. This is a sexy level. I actually hadn't been looking at the BTC chart, just the USD one. But I really like this level. And here's the thing. Bitcoin could keep rallying. It's making new all-time highs. It's in a very strong bull. If that does happen, the pairs will suffer a bit versus it, and that sucks. But my trading plan is versus US dollars, versus USD. So USDT, USDC, whatever. And if this daily closes above 38, That's your confirmed bullish market structure. And then it can do whatever it wants. It can pull back, it can do this, but the bull's out of the bag, and I expect to see a pretty strong continuation. I mean, this volume was my signal. So a nice big strong volume rejected by that dip, which, in this case was kind of like a pump chaser zone. It actually went a little lower. I think it got like a fib tag here on the reload zone right there, 618. Can zoom in. See that? So when you get these signals and then it's like, okay, don't chase it. Don't worry. Who cares? Drop that fib. Get that reload zone. You want to be more aggressive. Things are crazy. You want to get that pump chaser fib, whatever. And so I'm long on Ren, and I think, I think it's got a really good chance to do something stupid here in a good way. Something like big, crazy fib extension all the way up here. That's what I'll be targeting. Might take a little bit off at 60 cents at this resistance just to be that guy. So if it does come all the way back down to test that level, I can buy it back kind of thing. A little trade within a trade within a trade. But Ren, Algo, and then the other one that I'm on this week. And that doesn't mean like there's so many friggin' coins, right? It's really hard. And that's probably one of the hardest things that we're going to be dealing with this year is like, how do you choose? And so you just have to have a trading plan. Ideally, you have a little something beyond TA that points to that coin being the next one to rally. Like some upcoming news is ideal. I don't have that for these. I didn't get around to those, but ideally you want to be on the fastest horse and the horse that moves next, but you can't always do that. So, but again, Serum, nice, big, fat, long consolidation, big buy volume coming in, signaling internal strength. And in the 2 days since I bought it, it's just broken through this. It's starting to go. So as you can see here on the squiggly, I'm like, oh, maybe we get a retest. That'd be great. I'm just checking our connection here. I'm like, oh, it's so bloody quiet. I'm not used to this. So make sure we're all still here together. Yeah, Chris Richards nailed it. I think Nick's Wi-Fi may have rugged. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, these are the pairs that I'm excited about versus USD. Like, I get it. And when Bitcoin makes an all-time high, I'm like, damn it. I look at my portfolio. I'm like, oh, I don't have a whole lot of Bitcoin left. I've been kind of scaling out, protecting that capital, looking at other things. But then like versus USD, that's all I really care about. Because look, and this actually, the producer and I were just talking about this before the show. If I don't have any Bitcoin right now, I have a little bit, but if I didn't have any, and I go over here and I park that capital that could have been at Bitcoin at 35K, Bitcoin shoots up to 50K. I'm like, oh no, I missed it. And in that same time, Serum or one of these other coins shoots up like 2x, right? Here's your 2x from current prices. And then I take some of that profit and I go and buy Bitcoin at 50K. Am I buying the top or like, you know what I mean? Like, or am I farming that USD somewhere else, some other way, better returns? And I can scale back into Bitcoin at any price. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy it at 50, but does that make sense? Like deploying the capital in the place where I can get the best returns always and the lowest risk. I mean, does this look like a bubble? Does it, does this look like a top? Does this look like an overextended chart? Not at all. This one doesn't either, the way I've drawn it up here, but looking here, certainly like way far away from value. If you want to talk about cost of production for Bitcoin being sort of the value buy, which is generally what I would do. I mean, this is probably going a lot higher, let's be honest. But I can't buy that, not with confidence, not like blindly just aping into it. Holy shit, we're pushing to highs, by the way. Not a day to be talking about Bitcoin like that, RT. Pushing to the highs. So again, it's about where I can get the best return. I think Bitcoin is still the strongest case in crypto, obviously. I still think someday, some cycle in the future, it'll be hitting $1 million. I really do. But in the shorter term, I definitely see better returns in certain things I'm trading. So that's it. That's all. That's the rant. I wasn't too excited about this new high. I'll show you why. Again, not... Where's my templates at? Oh, they're there. Okay, they're on a different chart for some reason. Let me get this out. Oh, Bitcoin's pushing to highs on stream again. I love it. Happens a lot lately. Let's pull up the weekly views. Oh, that's this one. Oh, for whatever reason, that other one doesn't have my templates. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay. So there's my kind of templates. I'll get off the OBV. We don't need all that. So yeah, let's look at the 4 hour. So here's why I wasn't that excited about the latest push from Bitcoin. Well, actually, I was excited, but not for the reasons that you would think. So we go to new highs last night. Looks like we're going to go again today. And these don't mean a whole lot of sense. Like these momentum indicators that I'm going to talk about, they don't mean a lot. They're certainly not about calling tops and all that stuff. But let's look at it objectively. Came down, nice big volume. Yeah, like huge wash out there. That's probably just a lot of longs covering when they got stopped out, liquidated. So it's not necessarily like people selling spot Bitcoin as much as just longs getting liquidated. But then you get this push up. Well, that's Bitstamp, so who knows? But anyways, you get this push up, and the MACD momentum's lost. Because of this big dump, the momentum would reset. So you're on divergence here. The RSI barely overbought again, even as we make new highs. So it's on a divergence where you can see that it's making a lower high, even as Bitcoin comes in making a higher high. Does that mean top? No. But it does mean that I think there's a better chance that this is like a weaker move up. I mean, this could explode and some volume comes in, but for now, not a whole lot of exciting volume. In fact, we're making lower highs in volume as we get up there. And so all those reasons for me, like that really makes the case for weakness over here, which explains why we're seeing strength over here on Ethereum. It explains why Bitcoin dominance is falling, right? Really steep fall. And it explains why, despite some of that, we're still seeing some big buys pouring in on altcoins, like DOT. DOT's one to watch because when there's a bull for altcoins, DOT will be there. It's going to probably be one of the most bullish, especially like mid, high cap coins. And look at the buys coming in. And those are not like small retailers speculating this might be a bottom. This is big money. This is the guys who decide when pivots come in. They make this kind of volume. So if they're abandoning, see the lack of volume over here? And you see the huge volume over here? So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When I see this push up to highs, I still think Bitcoin could go to 50. We got levels in between 38, 42, blah, blah, blah. But I'm, really excited about altcoins. And when I do see big pushes up on Bitcoin, personally, because I'm trading the other side of the market, I want to see lack of volume. I want to see some divergence. That kind of gives me more confidence stepping in the way of this freight train, trading it off for some altcoins in the meantime. But never mistake me for like a Bitcoin bear. I still think there's a lot of room to grow. I just don't see it as the best place to plant the seeds that I have. Oh, I love an altcoin. So if you guys have requests today, I mean, Serum was actually an idea that came up on stream last week. I wasn't even looking at it. It's one that I had heard about. It's one that, Solana, guys over at Alameda, they're front and center on this guy. So it's something to be, keeping an eye on. Ooh, Solana coming into a level today. Put out a tweet yesterday with this chart. Basically, this is a weird line. I don't need that. Basically saying, that this is resistance. There's a big unlock coming. Use that high to draw that fib. And then, I'd be like a buyer down here, which is now kind of where we're coming in. And if that unlock, which is scheduled for tomorrow, I guess, Nick, if you can confirm, you were the one that I got this January 7th from. Is that still a thing for Solana? I hope. Oh, he says yes. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Okay. That's actually perfect. My Discord notification just popped up. So yeah. So the 7th is the distribution. And it's interesting. Yeah. Could you please talk about ETH again briefly? Missed that when the audio was in and out. Yeah, we can talk about ETH. I love talking about ETH. So yeah, Solana. This is a dip I'm interested in. And if there is a big unlock coming, who knows? Like, who knows if it's all going to be sold? A word from Nick is that there are funds clamoring to get their hands on it. Big money trying to line up to buy it. Is it going to get the big dip? Does it come back to the support? Is this a big range? And this is just a good, so in that case, 786, one of my buddy Andrew's favorite places to buy. He's very successful. He just doesn't care. He's like, I'll just park bids at the 76. When they hit so nice. Yeah, dip and then rally is what Nick is saying, and I agree. Dip and rally. And we saw that with polls, which I actually have up on my chart here. I don't know exactly the day, but it was something like this. The last distribution for polls. Excuse me if this is not the exact candle, but it was basically like this. There was an anticipation of dropping, and it basically just went bing, shot up, and it never came back. And that's kind of what we're expecting for Solana, because the only thing holding back Solana, arguably, 29th. Yeah, so Nick has confirmed this was the final distribution for Polkastarter. And I remember there's a lot of people like, oh, I'll buy that. And it just went whoop, and it didn't come back. And it makes sense that Solana, same kind of thing. I mean, it's a bullish coin, high throughput blockchain, very well funded, very well liked, probably going to be quite successful. And there's just been this huge supply unlock looming. And so that's been, why hasn't it been rallying? Probably because of that. It'd be crazy to buy something when there's a huge flood in supply coming. But once this has passed, oof. When we break out of this, big buys already stepping in, trying to front run that event. I think this thing's going to fly. And having said that, I don't own any. So I really need to not miss this one, because if I get on here next week and we're shooting up into the $3 and $4 range and I own 0 Solana, I'm going to be pissed at myself. And it wouldn't be the first time. Hey, Joseph Lirma. What up, weirds? Good to see you. Ren just hit a price I had saved. Let's check it out, dogs. Yeah, we actually already did. You're late, bro. But we will check it out because I'm long on Ren and I love looking at my bags. So here's the look at ETH. Somebody over on TradingView missed it. There was a bit of an issue with the audio. Basically, it's really strong. It's up above key resistance. It's not getting big rejection yet. I say yet because I would expect at some point that things like this kind of candle do get corrected or cleaned up, but we're not seeing that yet. And over here, when we had that kind of candle that I was concerned about saying that going to need a fill, well, that was friggin' July. It didn't get filled in until November. Huge alt season in between. So who knows exactly how this is going to go, but I think it looks really bullish. And the big takeaway on my ETH analysis is we need a weekly close above these highs. That's going to be a big structural reversal, and that confirms in about 4.5 days. Well, 4 days, 5 hours. So keep an eye on that close. If we get knocked down into the weekend and this closes below and Bitcoin's off to 40K, heads up. Alt season may not be coming just yet. It may be delayed as Bitcoin just blasts off to new highs. That's a thing. So we really do, to confidently think that altcoins are going to come racing in versus Bitcoin, we want to see this weekly close above. Otherwise, it might just be party delayed for a few weeks, whatever. We also want to see Bitcoin dominance break down. I could see this where it comes up and then goes down. But obviously, the cat's out of the bag kind of thing, and it's just going to be a big FU rally. You just don't want to see any strength here. And let's go back. There was a really interesting fractal. I doubt I can find it right now. It's on Twitter, but let's just remember the biggest alt season that ever happened started with a big FU bull. This was December 7th, 2017. And I still remember it because I actually sold Ethereum at the bottom. I was a noob. I didn't really know. And it was so depressing. And then the next day kicked off a 6-week rally. I mean, I did okay. I had some ICOs, ICX went 100x, Dragon Chain 100x, XRB, Nano 100x. I did okay, but I definitely capitulated some Ethereum on the ETH BTC chart. And you can see it. Where was it? December 7th, 2016, right here. And here's the psychology of why, right? It was ugly. Bitcoin had been rallying since basically the summer, ETH just getting hammered. And then it was let's go back over there, get in here nice and dirty. And then, you're sitting here, you're kind of oh, I should have sold, altcoins are getting so wrecked. Bitcoin was heading towards the 20K highs through November. And then just here, it was I would be an idiot to let any more of my precious sats slip away. So a lot of people sold all their altcoins and all their Ethereum and just big capitulation event. And what followed? So usually the end of a move is very violent and sharp, and that works both ways. So looking back here, that's what the dominance looked like. It was just exploding, broke these highs. Everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin's king. Altcoins are shit. They're never coming back. And then it was just boop, 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 boop for like 60 days. Absolute insanity. Could we be seeing that again? Well, the setup is there, guys. The setup is there. Wreckage, a little bit of hope, more wreckage, capitulation. Oh my God, Bitcoin's at all-time highs. It's at 30K. And now ETH BTC wakes up and it's ready to party. So obviously, you know what scenario I want to see, but I'm not going to lay all my chips in one direction and say like, I'm going to abandon my risk management and just go all into altcoins everywhere. But I certainly am loading my bags day by day into the direction of this dropping. And so when I say I like to see things like divergence and lack of volume when Bitcoin's moving up, that's why I say that. Because that is further to my bias, further to my goal, which is to see dominance drop, which is to see ETH BTC explode, and then things like Solana and all that stuff. Does that make sense? Hope all of that makes sense. Yeah, let's take a look at LTC. So D Steckle 810 would like to take a look at LTC and GRT. GRT was a little crazy. The graph token. I don't know. Let me know when you guys ask if you want to chart it. I chart everything versus USD typically. It is kind of becoming the season to look at things versus Bitcoin as they start to perk up and you want to see if they're catching bids versus Bitcoin. But you can see GRT, why I wouldn't buy it up until, during all this. I was like, well, that's insanity. I'm not going to buy that shit, but let me draw an RLZ. So I saw it here on my chart and I guess I was thinking about buying. So I was charting it. But this is where I can start to get interested again. We're down into that reload zone. My rules now say I'm allowed to play. And it's amazing. You guys, the more you guys watch the show and come hang out, you're going to realize like I miss a lot of things because they just take off without me and I can't buy them. Who cares? But a lot of things that people get wrecked on just slide right into my zone. And when they do, I'm just sitting here like, oh, cool. I can trade that now. And it's fucking fascinating. I didn't invent it, but I learned it. And it saved me a lot of stress and a lot of money. So yeah, this actually looks pretty good for GRT. You can see a series of lower highs. And now we've got sort of like a higher high if you want from here. So it might have like a bullish reversal here. It looks like some buys are coming in. Looks like the bulls are taking back control. I would say it needs a little more time to consolidate typically, but if it's going to be a bull season, then this is kind of how I would approach this thing. Get another little fib now that you've got that confirmed and start hunting in here. Because then if you're wrong, you're risking to the local low because that's the structure you're playing off. Maybe you're taking a 3-to-1. So you want at least 3 times your loss if you're going to win. And now, maybe it's like boom, 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 boom. Now you're risk-free. Close half the position. The way I trade, I close half my position there. Then whatever happens, and I put my stop loss at break even. So I've locked in a guaranteed winner at that point. I'm still riding half the position. And then from there, you can, extrapolate wherever else you want to take profit. But having that plan in place ahead of time saves me from emotional decisions. Like when it gets up here and then I'm deciding like, should I sell? Should I buy? Should I take profit? Should I add? It's very hard to think when you're in that position. And then what do? You go to Twitter, you search the ticker, you start to look, everyone's screaming for more highs. They're talking about $1. They're talking about $6. You're not going to sell that. And then it does come back. Something happens. Oops. And you just lost money on a trade that should have been a locked in winner. Over time, those smaller winners, maybe it does go to $1 and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have sold. But you just have that plan in place. And over time, that kind of approach is how you grow an account. So that's how I would trade that. GRT. Let's take a look at LTC. My throat's hurting for some reason. It's a little weird. Not like in a sore throat way, but like pulled a muscle or something. Strange. It's a strange. I don't know. Let's take a look here at Litecoin. I actually never traded Litecoin like in my life. I used it once to get like as a payment rail just to like send some funds off an exchange when Bitcoin was slow as fuck back in 2017, but that's about it. I don't know why. So I just don't like this coin. Not like I'm bearish or bullish on it. Doesn't matter. That's not the ask. It's just like, what do I think? Objectively speaking, this is a really nice surge of buy volume. And versus Bitcoin, you can see this is definitely an area where you want to be thinking long, not short. It's not even like, oh, it's too early to long, too late to short. Like, it's actually in a really nice level on a high time frame. Maybe I should just get over it and be bullish on Litecoin. But, the fact that it's been basically level with Bitcoin while Bitcoin's been rallying means if we go over to this USD pair, you're going to see big fat candles. There they are. And yeah, I mean, I can't buy that chart. It's funny, right? I can trade this versus BTC. If I have Bitcoin, I could flip it over to some Litecoin maybe. Not that I saw everything I need for a trade there, but at least at the level. But on this chart, I mean, yeah, on the high time frames, looks very bullish. Let's go look at a better chart. Like Finex probably has way more history. Yeah. So, I mean, this is so sexy. This is what you want to see if you're an investor. If you're holding an asset and you just see like this big fat W, basically like a monthly W. So sexy. So this thing should just fucking moon in the next few months. Exactly from which level to which level, all that stuff. I mean, we're at monthly resistance right now, so you can expect it's probably why it stopped a bit here. Right, where you see these candle body lows. After a confirmation of a monthly, which is what we kind of got here, like to like the dollar, this monthly close, yeah, peaked above. So look at that. That's basically confirmation. And that's probably why the bulls all came clamoring in this month. So right here. So right here, you want to see, if you're a bull, you want to see confirmed bullish market structure, which means you have a higher high. So this was a high, lower high, boring, lower high, boring, nothing really. Oh, we're maybe going to close. And then you get that little cheeky close just above that level. A lot of traders, a lot of people are waiting for that signal. And so the fact that it closed above that is a big, strong, very bullish signal. And sure enough, the opening to the next month. So now that we're at this resistance, yeah, I don't know how I would trade this. Like I said, I don't really trade Litecoin. But same old story. This shit works most times on most time frames. Is there going to be a pullback to 116? Who knows? That would probably coincide with some big old pullback on Bitcoin to like 20K. So I don't know. But maybe, versus Bitcoin, like, yeah, do you think that's going to outpace? I mean, I don't see as much buying excitement here versus something like DOT. I mean, that's a crazy week it had, but like you look at the daily, like that's pretty pronounced. So what do you think is going to outperform this year? DOT, Polkadot network, parachains, all that excitement, all that hype. I don't even know what the market caps are on those two. Polkadot's behind Litecoin by about 2 billion. So there's another reason. I don't know. I'm way more excited about what Polkadot's building than about what Litecoin's doing. And I don't think Litecoin's nothing, but not too excited. What software do I use? I'm using TradingView. This is all TradingView, which is a funny question because you are on TradingView asking. So I'm not sure the nature of the question, if it's like something within TradingView, what I'm using, but I am using the TradingView. Yaks. Serum got that close above daily high. Hey, there he is. D3M KOS. If you guys are wondering who gave me the Serum idea, it was that big beauty. So I appreciate you, bro. I'm already up on the position. I don't just ape in like, hey, there's a coin and I go buy it. But like I looked at it, I was like, this is beautiful. This fits my plan perfectly. It was just coming up into this resistance. I thought, fuck it. I'm going to buy because it looks so bloody bullish and this whole consolidation should be in the rearview mirror soon. But I couldn't take the size necessarily that I might have because, ideally I'm waiting for that pull. So we'll see. I mean, if we pull back here now, suddenly that's a level around 130 that I can really feel confident sizing up a bit. Kulupu, under the radar Polkadot project. Yeah, KLP had a thing. Kind of fell apart, I heard. So look at what it's doing. It's not on same charting exchanges I want to see, but it kind of came out hot in the summer and then it just died. It's a POW coin as far as I know. There was some perhaps some community issues, but yeah, definitely under the radar now. If you look at it, let's go take a look on some. I'd be curious to know. Yeah, you can't chart it here. I'd be curious to know more about it. Why has it been so down? What's the inflation like? What's the mining situation? What's that? I'd want to learn a little bit more about that. It's 11 mil market cap. It's trading on a weird exchange. Qtrade is where it was when I first found it. Let's go see. KPL. No, KLP. Yeah, I remember this, man. Nick was telling me about it right here at like 2,000 sats, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go look at that. I've got to set up a new account at Qtrade, blah, blah, blah. I never did. And I spent exactly this many days regretting it. That was quite a big rally for that time of year. It was about 10x. So sick. Yeah, dude, good call. This looks good. Looks like it's waking up, ready for a resurgence. If Polkadot's going to moon, then everyone will scramble to find unbought Polkadot projects. So maybe this is time for like the fool me once, fool me twice. I need to actually go make the account and get some of this shit. But John, write this down. KLP. Let's make sure we look into this one because anywhere in this range looks pretty decent. Probably take a quick look at the inflation metrics. And, you can probably be, like a lot of these assets, they'll do this. They'll take back half the move and half the time. So if it took this long, well, we could just do that. It's kind of sick. Say date range. Well, just doing this loosey-goosey, guys, here, but 91 days. So take half that time. What is that, like 45? And actually, it doesn't look like it's going to make it, but you can take half the move and half the time. So that'd be like right up here. Right here. I don't know about that time-wise, but, half this move, there's a pretty good chance someday it'll get taken back. That's like a 12x. So thanks for that shout, D3M. That's a good idea. Kulupu has been off my radar for a while, even though I FOMO'd it so hard earlier this year and never ended up buying. So I will take a look at that. Let's take a look at Yaks. Basically, everything you want to see, D3M, with your ideas, they're always like, all ideas are welcome, guys. Don't get me wrong. But I love when people shill bags or shill ideas or bring coins that are in buying windows. And I get it. You're more likely, what platform do I trade on? I trade mostly on Binance. I've got accounts at a whole bunch of exchanges, but mostly on Binance. Do a little bit at FTX. I like to trade on Hxro. If you're non-US, highly recommend you check out TixWix, obviously. But I had a fucking killer trade on that thing for ETH to hit 1,000 by March. Man, that thing paid like 59x. It was so cool. It's my first big trade ever on there. But that's more options. If you're into options, you want to take a look at that. Super cool. Obviously, we advocate that. They are our sister company. We're not the same thing, but we're similar. Let's take a look. That's for non-US only, though. Cannot use it if you're a Yankee, unfortunately. Let's go look at, what's the one you were just talking about? Yaks. I'm guessing it's not here. Oh, yes. They got, Y-axis. Is this the one? Oh, see, like this kind of shit, man. When you bring like a nice undervalued looking chart and you're just like, we can chart the shit out of it and it's in a buy zone. But anyways, all requests welcome, guys. But the best kind for the stream are when it's like, hey, here's a trade we can actually probably take. Swap without fees apart from 1 inch or metric. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The swaps with the fees, like they're getting a little crazy. I'll tell you what, one tip I will give you for fees, check out this site. I'll just show it to you. I'll post it here if you guys want to see. Okay, yeah. So you're okay. Laser beams. Yeah. So there's two questions here. Somebody asked, what platform do I trade on? I'm definitely charting with TradingView. I just obviously customize all the colors. Maybe that's why you were confused. We have our sexy custom Hxro Labs colors that we came up with earlier this summer as a template. So it might look different than your TradingView. But specifically, I don't trade on TradingView. I chart on TradingView. Although they do have this really nice paper trade feature that I love. So sometimes I would say check it out. I forget where it is, but I've used that before, which is really nice. You get your whole trading panel. Yeah, paper trading right here, connect. And you can actually kind of simulate trading, but with fake money. And people scoff at that. They say, nah, you got to get skin in the game. I'll tell you this. Everyone I know who's spent an exorbitant amount of time honing their skills as a paper trader has been more successful and lost less money afterwards. That's just a fact. It's the way she goes. So take it for what you will. I was never good at paper trading, personally, I will admit. So if you're not into it, fair enough. But even after I started at TRI learning to trade, I rode the 6K drop. I talk about this all the time. Probably should shut up about it because who's here to hear about that? But yeah, they said as part of like starting out, they're like, you're all new, level 1, don't go crazy, just paper trade, sit in cash. And I was like, nah, man, I'm a Bitcoin trader. We're at the bottom. And then I rode my entire fucking bag almost down. Very depressing. It was like a 50% drop. And I thought I was so invincible at this level. We'd already come so far down. I was like, well, I'm not selling now. Oh, buddy. So, paper trade is not a bad idea. It's tough in a bull market, right? Because you miss real money. But you also don't lose anything. And that's honestly what the odds are saying you will probably do as a newer trader. It's just a fact of life. I still lose money sometimes. Quite often, actually, but it's measured. And it's less than when I make money. That's the key. That's actually like the only difference between profitable traders, in my opinion, and unprofitable traders. If they measure risk so that, example here, perfect example here. I'm in a trade in Bell. Now, it might go up, it might go down, whatever. But I know before I'm even in this trade that if I lose, I'm going to lose 12.5% of my position. And if I win, I'm going to make 50%, 4 times as much. If I have trades like this and I hit at 50% or even just a little less than 50% hit rate, I'm profitable, period. Any one trade doesn't matter if it's a winner or a loser because I know I'm measuring like this. At least 3-1 for me. But in this case, 4 because it fits with the SR levels and stuff. So that's probably the biggest difference between profitable and unprofitable. So a lot of people, they just get an idea. They say, oh, that's cool. Someone else says it's bullish. I'm going to buy it arbitrarily. And I don't know where I'm going to get out or when. And then most of the time you end up, even if you're profitable, you don't sell it till it's a big dip. Or you just get washed and then you're totally wrecked and you're like, fuck it, I'll sell now. And then it's like the bottom or something. So measuring this kind of stuff ahead of time, guys, so important. You can have all the bull market in the world, still manage to lose money if you don't manage risk. And I will rant about that endlessly while also being a moon boy at heart. Thanks, Jojo Fang. Appreciate that. And I really appreciate the 100 coins you just sent us over on TradingView. Shout out to you, sir. Sorry, guys. If you're stuck, Vasant Shetty, you mentioned that you're stuck over there on TradingView. Just refresh the stream. It does get a little choppy. They're still in beta. There's definitely going to be some glitches, but it runs pretty well if you refresh. And if you're struggling still to see the picture, hear the audio, you can hit us up on YouTube on the Hxro Labs. That's HXRO. Okay, you got it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I guess every noob here needs to feel the pain. Yeah, that's the thing, Picasso. And I'm like that too. I couldn't just be told to paper trade and believe it and be told by smart people. Like the shit I'm saying to you guys, like you may believe me, you may not. That's fair. You might be like, nah, fuck it, it's a bull market. I'm just going to trade. And that's cool. Do your thing. But I was the type who had to learn the hard way. I had to get kicked in the ass a few times before I really took it seriously. And I still break my rules, believe it or not, guys, once in a while. I'm not going to be king shit here, never breaking rules. I break rules all the time. Sometimes I buy shit from bed because it just looks so good. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh no, that wasn't the level I should have bought. I'm not perfect. I journal shit all the time about dumb things I did. But on the whole, even when I fuck up, it's like, oh man, like I had a really bad trade last year. And it was so depressing. It was a big hit. But then I looked, it was like 3% of my portfolio. 3. That was like a big blow up trade for me. So in a weird way, I'm still in sort of a wheelhouse of risk management because I've really gut wrenching trade. And I was like, oh. Then I looked, I was like, okay, 3%, like we'll get over this. Never should be putting herself in a position to lose more than 5. I was fucking pissed when I lost just 3. Get into that mentality. I'm usually risking 0.5%, 1%, Doesn't matter your account size. You got to think like that. Because you got to also think like 5 years out, 2 years out, 10 years out. Like, what's your time frame, right? Are you here for a quick buck? Want to be a trader? Settle that kind of stuff. Write down your goals. It'll help you get some structure. Would you be able to take a look at DOT USD? Yes, love DOT. I'm looking at it all day. Real quick on the BTC pair, this is a level I was watching, expecting some upside in Bitcoin. You could expect some downside in a pair like this. Really nice confluence here at the 27.5 level, where it's sort of the triangle low and the pump chaser zone. If Bitcoin blows off, goes way up and just goes crazy, this thing will probably right down in the reload zone, as will most Bitcoin paired alts, filling in this kind of stuff on the chart, which honestly looks like it needs filling in. But until Bitcoin does that, I really like this consolidation as sort of like a breakout, consolidate, continue. And if we get that, so, looking into that green box, I was actually bidding a little lower, so womp womp, poor me, but it still might come down, so whatever. But I'm trying to buy like the middle or bottom of that green box, more closer to the 318. Oops. So where would that take us? Well, next target would be up here for me. Fibs to reload, fibs to extend and take profits. Nice clean system, pretty simple, reliable, repeatable. And I really like when these are dotted. I don't know why, just the way it goes. So like, yeah, what does that look like? Well, probably buying, not risking below the 0.5. That's a whole other trade down in the reload zone. And then I can get up here. What's my risk? 7-1. Means I only have to be right 1 time out of 7 to break even on a trade like this. And I think I can do better than that. So we'll see. So I like the dot here. Now let's see dot USD, because that's what you asked about. And I'm just randomly looking at my own trades now. Dot USD I have a harder time with. And I'm going to look at it over here because I actually have a chart on it. I have a harder time with this, and I'll show you why. I mean, I'm so bullish on dot. Look at this consolidation. Huge consolidation. So you should expect the shooting out of that, like the escape from that, should be pretty strong and sustained. Huge volume coming in, massive. Like I said, the guys who decide who and where the bottom goes, they've put a bottom here. They've said this is going to be a massive breakout on volume. But as a trader following my plan, I have a really hard time buying up at this 618. This is the trade exit if you're just trading the breakout. So it's all about, and this is why guys like me, anyone on here talking about their shit, like you got to say like not financial advice, because whoever asked FFG1 over on TradingView, your plan, your situation might be totally different from mine. Right? I'm buying reload zones. I'm selling to, fib extensions, and then I'm rotating that into other coins that are in the reload zones, blah, 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 blah. I think, for a dot holder, I would not be rushing to sell on the fucking, whatever it is, 6th day of January. 2021's got to be dot's year. But for my trade, my little trade that I'm doing, yeah, this is a take profit zone. On the grander scale of things for the year, there's where I expect to see dot playing. So you really got to know yourself and your own timeframes and your own goals. But I have a hard time buying it here. I really want to pull back, obviously. So I'm trading it. That's why I'm trading it on the BTC pair, because I can justify entries over there. This one I don't have a rule set for that fits. But I'll be looking at this pump chaser zone. Bet your bottom dollar. And if Bitcoin, if we get a nice little rollback where Bitcoin says, hey, I'm going to go and check my 20K level and all that shit everyone's talking about happening someday, that might be this level for dot. That might be the big breakout. I mean, this kind of candle often does get checked at some point, right? You get that Wyckoff check. So, oh, here we go. Bitcoin dropped 1K in 15 minutes. Nick just pinged me. What? Really? Oh, that's a 4-hour. Let's go zoom in. It's funny, like a 1K drop. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is beautiful. I actually love this. This is what we need. Yeah, this volatility is insane. Nick is commenting here, guys, on the side because his audio couldn't keep up. But 1K in percent terms is not a lot. I know, right? So look at this. If you were trading this Bitcoin here, I mean, you know, get a probably in a we're in a short reload zone, kind of. Arguably, because this is what I look for if I'm trading anything, really. Fib. So we're kind of up there in that short reload zone. We're actually like testing the highs, but like just say you're risking the highs, whatever your trade is. There was a clear, you know, little top, okay, lower high, breakdown, and it didn't really wait for you, right? It just kind of said, no, fuck you, I'm breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. I mean, that's a 1K drop in 15 minutes. Nick loves this shit. Like as a trader, we just love this shit because you're like, you know, if you had one Bitcoin short there, you just made $1,000. If you had a 5 Bitcoin short there, you $5,000 in 15 minutes. Volatility is insane, guys. So as a trader, that's what we thrive on, right? The worst market for a trader trading Bitcoin was this shit back here. This was brutal. You want to trade Bitcoin? You want to make money? The fucking thing's not moving. Where are you going to capture the movement? Breaks down. You're thinking, oh, short. No, squeeze up. Yeah, this is torture. So you can see why the leverage traders, Nick is a bit more of a leverage guy than me. I don't fuck around as much on like perps and all that anymore. Much more focused on pre-sales and now into these. But like this is what I want to see. I mean, you don't want to see like Uber bear in Bitcoin. Obviously, that's not going to be good for anybody. But as far as like I'm trading some altcoins, when Bitcoin moves up like this, you know, it is in this fib extension, which is where I expect to see resistance. We got that. Now it's made a new high. Like I said at the start of the stream, low volume, you know, weaker on the momentum indicators. No momentum indicator kept up with it. All in bearish divergence. And that's what you want to see if you're a bull on altcoins. Probably something like this. Sorry, guys, it's like a messy chart. Let's go see. How are we doing for time? Oh my God, we're already over the hour. God dang it. This stuff moves fast. I was trying to keep it to an hour today, guys. I got to save my voice. It's starting to get a little crispy. But let's give it a few more minutes. I'm going to go massage my throat. Seems to be struggling today. A lot of talking, apparently. A lot of calls. Yeah, like, look, you know, do we come back to here? And then, like, your alt season, you know, could be like, oh, God, that was awful. Like, you know, does your alt season look like something like that? And Bitcoin just, you know, hanging out, not really tanking, but not really mooning. And then this is where the alts are just going crazy while all of this Bitcoin gets distributed into altcoins. Like that's the dream scenario for guys like me. Probably a lot of people watching too. So yeah, when I see that weak ass higher high on Bitcoin just now, I'm getting fired up because going back to, I got to close some of these. Going back to Algo, for example, one that I am long on, and you go look at the Bitcoin pair and you say, holy shit, whales are buying. Huge amounts of volume are coming in. What are they planning? Well, they're not planning to moon Bitcoin, apparently. The volume is starting to fall off. I mean, you can sort of see it rising here, but on the 4 hour, yeah, it's not making highs as the price did, right? So you guys get all that? I've gone over this before, but so this is why I'm excited. Let's just, God, you know, break through here. Ching chong cha. That's the kind of shit I want to see in the next few weeks. I think it could be a very juicy January, February, March. Where is the best place to learn about pre-sales? Yeah, dude. This is a tricky thing because it's definitely where I make the most of my money. Pre-sales is the jam. However, it's really tricky, you know? You get into these pools. If you're just an individual sitting at home and you're just learning about crypto, it's very hard to capture an edge in that. It's something you have to build up over time. You have to network. You have to be in a position where you can offer a team some value back because they're not just raising money, they're raising a product, they're raising a launch, and you really want to be able to offer them something. Hey, look at that. Hit my double on Juggernaut. Some stocks are going off today. Some of my penny stocks. Let's go see. Nobody cares about these, but there you go. VCIM model doing magic over here on Tiny Venture Stock Town. Boom. Buying the shit. selling the rip. Couple of these this month, dude. Crazy. Anyways, sorry, off track there. Alerts hitting. Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, Polkastarter, there's launch pads, Trust Swap. We just had Jeff on. They're planning a lot of really interesting shit. Yeah, if you can get in on those platforms and then you're buying at the public sale, that's the best bet. Trust Swap, I think in particular, because they're basically going to have a really stringent, case for like who can even launch on there. There's going to have to be certain restrictions on the contracts, smart contracts, vetted, all that stuff. DAO Maker, some really good ones coming out. Orion Protocol and Elrond, they launched on DAO Maker. They're both like 100x. So you can definitely do that stuff. But pre-sales, very risky. If you're just a random who's in public and you're thinking, I want to get in on a pre-sale, if you're getting in at a large allocation, there's a good chance it's shady. Because all the best pre-sales are full. That's the bottom line. They're full. They're oversubscribed by funds. They're oversubscribed by influencers. So if you're getting a big ticket into something that's like the next Bitcoin or whatever, be very cautious, guys. It's not as easy as it looks. You got to build a network. You got to build yourself some value. You got to offer something to them, and they'll let you in. Gold up, S&P down, BTC down. Thank you, Paul J, for the update. Appreciate that. Let's go see the S&P. Oh, really? Because the S&P looks like it's taken back that big, nasty key reversal candle. In fact, it made a new all-time high today. Probably on that Democrat news. Let's see. That looks actually kind of bullish. Call me crazy. Nick's hit me up here. Let's see what he's got. Not sure what he's saying. Yeah. Important for people to recognize that this and adjust. Percent moves require greater dollars now. Yeah, it takes a lot of money to move Bitcoin now. Nick's just giving us some nice alpha over here on the side. Basically, these moves take a lot more money. You're not going to get $1,000 move, or yeah. What are you trying to say there? Hit key throwback level though. Yeah, so we'll see. So Nick's commenting on gold. I don't even know. Yeah, do I have gold as the gold? Yeah. I mean, gold on the 4 hour just hit a key throwback. So that's actually a sick long spot. Probably what I'd be looking along if I was a gold trader. Missed it now. Nice bounce and go. But yeah, big dump. Big dump. But it's trending up. Gold's trending up. And, it's the other thing along with Bitcoin's scenario with, inflation around US dollars. Gold should probably do well too. But I find it boring as hell. Call me crazy, but I do. I don't want to trade this. But if you throw some leverage on it, it can be very exciting, I'm sure. Nick says, as long as gold holds 1880, it remains a bull. So where is your invalidation for a long? Basically right at this point of control here. Go figure. So take that for what it's worth, any of you gold bugs out there. Thoughts on XRP? Oof. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole until that SEC shit's resolved. Yeah. Yeah, it did get a nice rally today, but I mean, it's it's a good time to short when you have like a downtrend and something that's like in some hot water and some SEC shit. I mean, look, let's be real. They're probably going to get fined. They're probably going to have the money to pay it. They're probably going to have to go through some hoops, and then they'll be okay. And at that time, you'll probably miss it because insiders will buy it and it'll be already mooned by the time that's public. But then it'll hit some big crazy uptrend. Then it'll do some big crazy moon shit. And then I will be like, hey, let's look for longs. And this might be the bottom. This is, there's a nice consolidation here. Could this be it? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, with 6,000 coins, I can think of better ideas than long in this one, even though it does look actually pretty good right here. And that's all it's going to take is news that the SEC thing is blowing over and this thing's going to fucking rocket. It just seems like gambling for somebody who's not even that into XRP to begin with. Certainly less reason to be fucking with it right now. Did make a really nice trade on it earlier, as you guys know. We were very excited about this consolidation. breaking out, filled at 28 cents, wherever that was. I think it was right here on a Tuesday night. Still remember where I was sitting. Huge fill. And then like the next few days, I was flabbergasted by how high it went. In fact, my take profits were like 42 cents. Then I had a bag left over. I think I stopped out at like 56 cents. Sold like a little bit somewhere up here just as an ape, like thinking like, fuck it, I got to sell some. But mostly I sold at 42 and 56. Great trade. Moving on. Can't win them all. Can't get perfect. But yeah, I don't know about that. Twitter's all about pro-Trumps and Capitol building, and someone apparently got shot. Oh, what? Holy shit. So Hill dropping hot news. What's going on with that? Are you serious? Producer just said, oh my God. Producer just said in my ear, Capitol Hill is being taken over right now by Trump supporters. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I thought shit was gonna get pretty hairy down there. I'm Canadian, but it's scary stuff. Trump is basically raising a little army of people that don't believe, and they believe their country is being taken over by tyrants. And I'm not gonna comment if it is or isn't. I haven't done enough research. I don't watch that shit on the news. I find it stressful and boring, and I can't do shit about it. Let's just say Capitol Hill. Let's see what's going on. Fuck it, we're here together. Let's take a peek. Yeah, like this kind of thing, and I'm not going to say like, oh, which news did you click on? You're a lefty, you're a righty. I don't care, guys, but it does, this is my take, is that he's basically saying, don't go down without a fight. I mean, what does he think's going to happen? People are going to die. His country people are going to die. It's just absurd. I mean, he probably literally, legitimately thinks he's being cheated and robbed and that democracy is under attack. So whatever, but I don't know. I don't want to get into all this shit about vote election fraud and that. I just think it's a little weird that all of a sudden, after all these years, we've got voter fraud. The one guy who doesn't want to go down without a fight. I mean, seems weird. Seems improbable, I guess, analytically speaking. Yeah, this is crazy, guys. Hopefully this does not hurt too many people. I'm more worried about, keep people safe. Shit's gonna get maybe a little worse before it gets better. We got a lot of healing going on down there. We need for the homies. Not looking too good. Yeah. What do you get when you create a totally bipartisan political system and you heat up the polarity of the left versus the right and you give everybody guns? I don't know. Doesn't sound good. I got family down there, man. I got family in Louisiana. I got family in New York State. Got a lot of friends in New York. I got friends in San Diego. Got friends in California. Got friends in Iowa or Indiana, sorry. Friends in Florida. Friends in Chicago. I really hope they're all okay. But okay, off topic, guys. I'm not the guy to comment on all this shit. You didn't come here to see that. Let's go take a look at Melon. I do want to wrap soon, but let's just eke out a few more coins because this is fucking Altseason, baby. The first time ever I feel compelled to watch the news. That's how they get you. Put a little fear in the air, and now you're going to see it because this will affect the markets. Make no mistake about it. Gold will do well in times of uncertainty. The S&P will probably suffer. I wonder why it's made a new high today. Seems a little weird. Maybe that just happened and we're going to see them roll over like futures just dropped. If there's chaos, you can expect people to be flying to things like cash and gold and hopefully Bitcoin. But Melon looks good on a daily. Looking at Melon on the USDC pair, and look at this. You can already tell this was a reload zone. Boop. 618. This, for what it's worth, I'm always harping on about the 702. But smarter people than me, they trade the 618. My buddy Andrew trades the 786. I know a guy who trades the 886. But this is like the mountain man level, we call it. Brian's story was that he knew a guy who was like a sick trader, and he always just traded the 618, and he looked like a mountain man, so he calls it that. So there you go. Yeah, I miss a lot because I park bids at the 702s. So do these guys and these guys. But 618's pretty powerful level. And if you're consolidating, we're actually coming up to the 618 right now. Look at that. Stopped right on it again. So, keep an eye on this kind of shit. I don't know what to say about Melon other than that on the whole, it looks really bullish. And this looks like it has a bunch of upside. The problem with it, I actually wanted to use it. I was going to set up a little fund on there, and it's a really cool product, but they rely on ETH fees being low. So they're in a bit of trouble. I don't know what they're developing around that. But if they're developing, or if they're relying on ETH fees being low, like just to set up a fund, I think is 8 transactions. That's like $800 right now, some days. So keep that in mind. Use case wise, I think they're going to be stuck until ETH 2.0 rolls out, which is a long time, or unless they have another second layer solution. Yeah, FFG is saying, how soon do you think pullback and consolidation will happen with Bitcoin? Timing things is extremely hard. So less about like when do I think it'll happen, and more just that I figure it will happen. I think we could be at a local high right here just because this was a big signal that maybe we're going to have a turnaround. And then we came up here on low volume, low, momentum, divergences everywhere. But right now we're just in a big bull trend. I wouldn't fight that trend. What I do see shifting is this trend, the trend away from Bitcoin and into altcoins. That's the more important trend for me. This can go wherever it wants. Even if Bitcoin shoots up to 44K, 50K, like that's not the 2X. And I'm looking for 5Xs. I'm looking for 10Xs. Not because I'm a greedy ape who's an idiot. It's just because I think I can get them. I've been in crypto long enough to know those kinds of returns come. And they're not going to come on Bitcoin here in the next 5 months. But in altcoins, there's a few that I think it might. So that's my take. Oh my God. Alish. That's such a good question. I don't have the time to get into it right now. You said, please explain BTC. If you just meant like on the chart, I'm all for it. But teaching about Bitcoin is a whole other conversation a little earlier in the stream we would need. But I appreciate you coming by to ask questions, and I wish I could help more on the spot. Yeah, and if you can't do the rewatch on TradingView, guys, hit us up on YouTube, Hxro Labs, HXRO Labs, because all of our videos are archived here, and our TradingView account has had some struggles with archiving. Live works, and then you go to watch it, and it's like a 5-second replay. It's weird. We're working on it. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap for today. What coin would you recommend jumping on? When you ask so directly, it sounds like financial advice. I can't give that. So I will rather tell you what I have bought. We talked about it at the start of the stream. I'm just going to tell you what I did. They're already, I picked up some some Ren on this dip because I saw all this volume coming in. So I said, okay, when that dips and it comes in, it dips. I think I picked it up around like 33 cents. So not even the best part of the dip, but there you go. So I picked up some of that. I have a decent sized bag of serum. When I refer to size, I'm always talking about percentages. So if serum's going to fall off right here, I'd like to get this retest. More than that, honestly, I'd like to get this friggin' RLZ. That happens a lot where it's like, this is the confirmation of the bull in my mind. And I used to just do it where I would buy this retest and then have a stop loss somewhere down here. And then the stop loss would get hit. That's the reload zone. And then, of course, it would take off. So I'm actually like, yeah, I want to bid this retest, but I want to bid here. I want to bid here. And to do that, I have to size appropriately. So instead of being wrecked when it gets down here, I can actually add to it. So yeah, so red band, serum. I'm actually looking at Sol because they have a big distribution coming tomorrow. So when that's out of the way, I expect this thing will have a very good time. Big party, fun, should do well. Again, pump station zone is up here. I'd ideally like to be buying some kind of crazy sell-off in that distribution right around here. So who knows what those guys, I wonder what their price is. Wow, protesters are in the Senate now. Holy shit. Okay. So things are heating up down in the States. Hope you guys are safe if you're down there. Let's flip back to cams. Gotta go stretch, move around a little bit. Okay. Thanks for coming by today, guys. We got a nice long stream in today. Looked at lots of charts, lots of alts. Bitcoin looking a little heavy up here, which is probably good news for altcoins. If it keeps rocketing up to highs, we are going to see more sell-offs in altcoins versus Bitcoin, which is not exactly what I want to see, but it doesn't really matter what I want. The market will be what it'll be. So I'm trying to hedge risk in all directions while still capitalizing on some potential gains. We'll be back on Friday Yeah, appreciate that, Edge Hunter. Great to see you, brother. And we'll be back on Friday. We'll check in with Nick on his internet. See, we might even do a little pre-record. We'll figure something out. We'd like to get him on here and hear his thoughts, especially as we get some of this global unrest, perhaps, or U.S. unrest. Always appreciate his macro theses on how this stuff will go. So take care, guys. Love having you here today. And whatever you do in the meantime, before Friday, always play from a position of strength. Take care.